Hi there, I'm Noah Bradley with Handmade House TV, and today we're going to talk about one of the most common questions I get from individuals, and that is, can you save money by being your own contractor? Can you save money by being your own builder? And what's the difference between a contractor and a builder? Is there any difference between the two? So stay tuned. All right, so before I can answer the question, can you save any money by building your own home? I thought I would cover the differences between a builder and a contractor. And there's no defined difference between the two. I think if you were to go to the Webster Dictionary and look up the two, you might get a different answer. They probably refer to each other, and in fact, those in the trade sometimes swap back and forth. I've always called myself a builder. I build houses for a living, but nonetheless, in order to do that in the state of Virginia, you need a contractor's license. You don't need a builder's license. There's no such thing. So you need a contractor's license. So I'm kind of both. But I've never really liked the term contractor. And please, for all of those who might be sensitive to being one or the other, I'm not meaning to insult. I'm just trying to explain some subtleties here in order to answer the question, can you save any money in building your own home? So typically, I think throughout history, I think that most of individuals who have built their own home, most individuals who build a house for a living, have been referred to as builders. They are individuals who can come into a piece of land, figure out where the site is, all of the connecting appendages that come to it. They know all the nuances and have probably done the hands-on work from the foundation to the finished trim on the inside of it. A builder, in my mind, is someone who probably worked in the trade for years before they actually started being in charge of and were qualified in order to build the entire home for someone. And that's the path that I have taken, and I like to be hands-on and involved in all of that. The word contractor is more of a new term that's come in just in the last few decades. Before that, it was rarely ever heard, and a contractor, in the essence of it, is someone who is in charge of building a home from beginning to end. But they might very well have not done any of the trades whatsoever. They could have gone to a school to learn how to build homes. They could have gone to a university and learned the building trades. They could have worked under an individual who was also a contractor and learned the trades. And basically, the process of contracting a home is basically you get a contract with a client. I will build you this house for X amount of money, and then that contractor would go out and hire all the various subcontractors and get contracts with each one of them for a set price in order to build a home. And the contractor would be in charge of making sure that all of the subcontractors did their various work. So a few years ago, well, I shouldn't say a few years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I started my own firm, a building firm 30 years ago. And just a few years into it, I found that I had a crew of young craftsmen, of apprentices and talented craftsmen who were teaching them, and I probably had 12 to 20 individuals at any given time who would handcraft your home from beginning to end. The same guy that would be there building your foundation would be there assembling your kitchen cabinets and installing them in your home. I was a builder, and I found that by looking around that so many builders had become contractors. It was a little shocking, and that is that there was a lot of contractors who were building 100, 200 homes and only had 2 or 3 people working in their firm who were actually going out and doing any work, and mainly they were the problem solvers or the punch-out guys, the guys who would take care of the last little details in the construction of a home. And so here I was building 1 or 2 homes at a time, and had a much greater workforce than people who were building 100 times as much as I was. They were contractors and I was a builder. Now let's get to the subject of can you save any money by being your own contractor? And the odds are stacked against you in being your own contractor. If you think that you can get a set of plans and you can assemble the team and build a home and have it as problem-free and less cost than what a contractor is, the odds are stacked against you. And real briefly, I'll explain to you why that is. And that is that first of all, that contractors, a lot of them buy in bulk. They will buy enough lumber in order to build 20 or 30 homes. When you do that versus you with a pickup truck showing up at the lumber yard, they're just not going to give you as good of a price on materials as that. And that quantity figure carries over into all of the trades as well. If you're building 20 identical homes or 20 nearly similar homes, chances are you're going to have a plumber sign a contract to do all 20 of them. And from the contractor's perspective, he sure does like all of that steady work going on and likes it being very similar, likes the steady paycheck. And he will give a better quote to build that house for that contractor than what he will for you. And really the contractor, he makes generally about 15%. Some areas as low as 10, some areas as high as 25%, but 15 is generally the general rule over the cost of a home. So if you can get the same bargains, if you can work with the same efficiency of a contractor, then you can save yourself about 15% of the cost of a home. But likely you're going to encounter some errors, you're going to encounter a little bit of overcharging. You're not going to have his years of wisdom and insight into the construction of your home, and it doesn't work. I would still encourage you to do it. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun building, and you can probably pull it off. So what's it all about? And that is that let's talk about the idea about you being your own builder. And that is that you're coming into the home and you're playing a much more active part in the construction of your project. By playing a much more active part in it, by being the person in charge, the man or woman in charge of constructing your own home, it's going to be, especially with a little bit of guidance, it's going to be a lot nicer. It's going to be a home tailored to you that no other individual can do for you. No one can make a home-cooked pie for you. You cannot go to the grocery store and buy a pie to compare to the one that you can make at home. And the same thing goes with a home. And a home is such an important part in our lives. It's if you're going to do anything right, if you're going to have anything tailor-made to you, you want it to be done by you. And so another thing about being actively involved in it, from helping to determine where the well goes, from helping to get the driveway in exactly as you want it, from saving this tree and getting rid of that tree, and from setting down and going through the process of discovery and the design of your home, you're getting a lot better of it. You're getting a lot better of home, but also you're saving some real money there. The real savings that come from being your own builder is the labor that you put into it, and those in your family, those in your friends, that actually being out there doing the work yourself. It's a wonderful, enjoyable activity, and the cost savings are just tremendous. If you're going to be your own contractor, you'll probably save between 5 and 15% off of the cost of the home. If you're going to be your own builder, the savings can be as much as 50% or more. And I don't say this out of theory or guessing, but rather out of experience. And how much you save in building your own home is really determined by you, and how much effort you continue to put into the structure. But one thing I can guarantee you is that You won't regret it. All you got to do is not quit, and you're going to really appreciate the project. And as a side benefit, you're going to find yourself a whole lot less indebted for a mortgage, and preferably you won't have a mortgage at all upon completing it. And that's quite a thing in itself. Anyway, thank you for joining. Hope you got something out of all that. I would like to thank 4 more members of the Handmade House Guild: Frank Hemphill, Brian Mack, Carolyn Beninsky, and Dennis Reynolds. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you for all your kind words about all the courses that are within the Handmade House Guild. And that's it for this week. You guys take care. We'll see you next time.